Hello and welcome back. It is still Hello Nigeria here, and we are about to take you through some trending stories in Nigeria. Our first stop is one that we have spoken about a number of times here, and that is with regards to the budget 2018. Now, the Committee on Defense, Army, NAF, 17 others holding Senate to ransom, according to the President of the Senate. Now, to speak to us on this topic, we have the political aficionado with us, political juggernaut, the man who is still celebrating his birthday, even though it was a few days back, the one and only Chukwudi Ezugu. Hi,
Good afternoon, ladies. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Happy
Friday.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
You should know the
you
drill
greet
by
everything
now.
together. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Chukwudi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
I'm very grateful.
Now, some people that are not having a happy weekend, or someone who says they're making his job a bit more difficult, is the President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki. Now, according to him, yesterday he raised the alarm that the Senate committees on Defense, Army, Air Force, Navy, Federal Capital Territory, Niger Delta, and 15 others were holding the Senate to ransom in its bid to put finishing touches to the 2018 appropriation bill, following their refusal to submit reports on the budget.
You see, what Nigerians need to understand is how government works. If we have an understanding of how government works, then we know how to go about contributing our quota to nation building and national development. I'm going to explain this way. You have three organs of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, these three organs of government must work hand in hand to achieve results. They are independent of each other. No one's powers surpasses the other, and they can also check and balance, meaning you can act as a check or watchdog on the powers of the other to stop them from abusing their powers. That's an aside, talking about the organs of government. Now, we now have three levels of government: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. Now, the federal government is led by the president, the state government led by the state governors, 36 of them, and the local government was supposed to have 774 local government chairmen or women and women. But the truth is, we do not have an understanding of how government works. That is why people take advantage of us. Now, who are your representatives in the House of Assembly or in the National Assembly? There are supposed to be 360 representatives representing the various constituencies in Nigeria, and 109 members of the Senate representing the whole senatorial zones. But what do we have? Every time your pot of soup goes missing, everybody blames Abuja. Ideally so, because the president is considered as the most powerful person. This right here is an indication that you cannot teach an Igbo man how to sell suya. He will never succeed. You cannot teach an Hausa man how to sell spare parts. He will never succeed because it is not in his gene. If we have people who do not have an understanding of government, who do not understand that they represent the people and must work around the clock to see that they advance the interests of the people, then what are they doing there? After all, some of them are ex-governors. After all, some of them are ex-deputy governors. Now, these people are just there retiring. How do you, as a member of a committee, as a senator representing your people, hold the same people to ransom? It's still the same cycle every year. Budgeting, go slow, traffic, and the rest of them, and the people continue to suffer. Until we begin to ask ourselves, who are your representatives? That's when we must come home and look for sensible people. I'm not saying that, but sensible people that will represent our interest in the National Assembly. Because the legislative arm of government makes laws. You make the laws. You represent the people. You know where the shoe pinches. You are supposed to ensure that you accelerate action so that people can see results. And you are the people holding us to ransom. Remember the time that the president gave express order that the heads of the MDAs must go and defend the budget. Now you are telling us that they are the people holding you to ransom and they must submit today, Friday.
Are they really going to meet this deadline? Because if deadline is today, 6 p.m. So what happens when they don't meet the deadline?
Has anybody ever met deadline in Nigeria?
That's such a
That's another thing you ask, especially if you're a public office holder.
But now,
ask yourself,
Chukwudi, let's ask this question. Right on this set, we also spoke about the fact that when the President of the Senate gave us assurances with regards to the passing of this bill, was he not aware of these,
I told you that day that the only assurance that Nigerians know is blessed assurance. Every other assurance is a waste. Because, let's check, it's not rocket science. If it happened in 2015, happened in 2016, happened in 2017, there is no way it's not going to happen in 2018 because nothing has changed.
Exactly.
It's business as usual.
Problem. Exactly. The fact that nothing has changed, and it seems like nothing is even changing at the moment. So next year, it's very likely that we see the same thing.
And the sad thing is they keep trading blames. Oh, you brought it late. Or it will give us time to... They say April 24th is sacrosanct. but they were supposed to have submitted by April 19th. Now you are giving deadline of 6 p.m. today.
So we're
the Senate does not even
week.
sit on a Friday.
We're probably going to see them extend the deadline for another 1 week or two.
I will not be shocked or surprised.
Now, another thing that has reoccurred more than once is kidnapping of our girls. Now, over 4 years, and we still have our Chibok girls. This is something that we won't stop talking about until we see them return. Not only did we have the Chibok girls, recently we had the Tapchi girls, and we still have Leah, who is still within the, she's within the captive, what's the word?
She's still held in
captivity. She's still held in captivity by Boko Haram. It's very sad that we've had this happen over and over again. Chukudi, is there really anything being done about this?
You see, this story will be tied to the third story. Because yesterday, the National Assembly said they were so angry, you know, in reference to the Offer bank robbery incident. And they said that our security system is sick. We must overhaul it.
We might as well just take both stories at the same time.
Thank you. Join it together. Combine it for me.
Let's take the report on that one. Now, members of the House of Representatives that's yesterday condemned the recent robbery attacks on commercial banks in Kwara State. We brought you that news story. Now, they said the incidents were signs that the country's security system was sick, like Chukudi just mentioned. Now, the lawmakers said the situation called for the overhauling of the security system. I don't think we will get tired of saying this. There are many systems that we believe should be overhauled. Security system, educational system, the healthcare system, so many. So they're stating the obvious with regards to us having a problem with the security system.
However, they had also mentioned that in 2015 that Boko Haram was technically defeated, quote unquote.
Hey,
so what's the back and forth? We were seeing that they're saying one thing, we're seeing something else.
Now the truth is, let me start from back to front now. We saw Buniyadi in 2014, where boys were slaughtered like fowl. We saw Chibok in 2014. It was still the same year. We saw Dapchi too this year now. The truth is, there's a problem with our security architecture. And one of the reasons why people voted overwhelmingly, if we go by the election results for President Muhammadu Buhari, was, oh, this is a retired military personnel, senior officer. In fact, he was described as a generalissimo, the senior brother of general, that he has an understanding of what the security challenges are, and he is going to deal with these issues. But most times we politicize these issues. And we forget that when death comes knocking, or when there's a problem, nobody will ask you for your voter's card. Death does not know the umbrella or the broom. It takes people and leave their loved ones in grief. What we need to do is, as a people, since we have representatives who appear like they do not come on, there's overhaul the security. Okay. Let's overhaul the security. But how many security details are attached to you as a senator, as a minister, as an honorable member, as a governor?
In fact, just yesterday, Ayo and I were headed somewhere inside Lekki, and we were going on the right path, but we saw a certain VIP. They were coming and they had the siren blaring, and they were even breaking. They're on the wrong part of the road.
It's not bad. Let's just leave it. I mean, he's a VIP, or she is a VIP. Let's use he or she now. So it doesn't look like it's only men that break the law. In quote unquote, he, she and him, VIPs. But the truth is, we the people of Nigeria have accepted everything that we get. And we have decided that we are going to keep making excuses for these people. We are supposed to be angry. Not angry to take up arms, but angry to hold people responsible and accountable. I can just imagine the grief of the parents who their daughters have been taken away from them for 4 years. I mean, you can have closure. Oh, know that this has happened. But you just do not have any idea. Some parents have even lost their lives waiting for their children. What we must do is stop making excuses and begin to act. And one way of acting is for the political class. I did not political class now, encompassing all the political parties, those who control government, to understand that they must make sacrifices on their part that must be commensurate to the sufferings of the Nigerian people. The security, this thing is suffering, and a police officer is your driver. He's attached to your wife. He goes to the school to bring your children from school. And we have, if we go by the payroll for February, less than 300,000 police officers. So you people that are less than 5,000 because you are special, you are protected. You even have high walls and barbed wire fences.
Is that not the story of Nigeria, when Nigeria is beneficial to only a minute few?
That is what we are saying.
And majority of Nigerians are suffering.
These people want the order and the system to continue, so that they can perpetuate themselves in power. And you have a people who keep making excuses. On Sunday, we go to church. I'm not here. I go to church too. And in fact, I sit very close to the choir. If it's not for my voice, I should be singing in the choir. It is well. Of course, we know it is well. But Angel Gabriel will not come from heaven and hand you a template on how to make things work. I mean, we saw all the struggle that they had to go through in South Africa to defeat the apartheid regime. If we do not say that we want to begin to play an active role in our country, our parents suffered.
We
our
have even
elder ones
suffered.
We suffered.
Our children
God
cannot
forbid
suffer.
that our children suffer. But let it not stop at God forbid. We must take our destiny in our hands.
Very true indeed. We must take our destiny in our hands to ensure that we do not see a repeat incidence of all the evil that has been perpetrated in our country, Nigeria. And it starts with you and I going out, getting our PVCs, voting for our preferred candidates, being involved in politics, you know, just really asking questions and putting people that are there to pursue the interest of Nigeria as a people and not their selfish interest. Thank you so much for joining us, Chukwudi.
Thank you very much. To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.